On a scale of novice to legendary, how skilled are you at Apex Legends? Maybe you're like my master's rank teammates where you're still new to FPS games and figuring out how to pick up a gun. Or maybe you're just Madara Uchiha himself 1v50ing the entire lobby with ease. Either way, you've probably noticed something a little strange this season. Have your games been looking a little like this recently? Yeah, that's not just you. After talking to some other creators, it looks like Respawn rolled out a secret matchmaking update in Season 18 that prohibits players of all skill levels from getting into games where the champion squad has less than 10,000 kills on every character. Let me explain. Apex is known for a lot of things, but good matchmaking is definitely not one of them. Back in Season 15, Respawn revealed some promising changes to the way matchmaking works, and just like with anything that isn't cosmetics, they've been uncomfortably silent about it ever since. Holy shit, can this robot shut the fuck up? Thank you. Anyways, the last we heard about it was Respawn saying,
"These changes will roll out worldwide early 2023.
And I think we're a little bit past early 2023, so it's safe to assume that these changes are live. Honestly, we don't even have to assume. If you've played even 2 games this season, you can tell the Respawn devs definitely didn't take their mandatory SA courses in college because, No!
That's what I just teleported. Dude, she's lagging! Dude, she's literally lagging! What the fuck is going on? What?
Yeah, I guess their definition of fun matches is a bit different from most of ours. The thing that's most confusing to me about this new system is the lack of acknowledgement from the devs. Nowhere in the Season 18 patch notes does it say anything about updating the matchmaking, nor have Respawn even commented on it in the past 3 seasons. I guess they thought we just wouldn't notice, but they also seem to forget we're the only ones who actually play the game, so...
If we don't look at it, he'll go away.
Dude, do you think they'll notice? No way, dude. Just drop a collection event. Yo, good idea. All right, ready? Watch this. Boom, and boom. And then we pull this back up, and it's live.
Bro, don't you even stress. In case you're worried about this new season, don't be. The devs are out here hard at work, dicks tucked, crack pipe, ready to fuck up the new season just like they have in the past. I went and took a look at the matchmaking update Respawn talked about in Season 15, and it's a bit sillier than I remember it being. In case you weren't familiar with the old matchmaking, here's a 10-second summary of how it used to work. 4 skill buckets: newbie, dogshit, casual, giga-sweat. Everyone assigned a number 1 through 10. Pubs equals teams versus teams with similar average skill number. Ranked equals teams versus teams with similar average ranks. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Very simplistic explanation, but that's the gist. Doesn't matter now, it's gone. I also couldn't find in the patch notes where they said they were going to be increasing everybody's ping by about 100. I thought it might have just been me or like a new season thing, but I've been getting quite a few comments of other people saying the exact same thing, so that's cool, but not the focus today. So you've been getting shit on every game just like the rest of us, right? Somehow the top 1% of players are in 100% of our games. You know, I wouldn't say I'm the best guy at math, but something about that doesn't really add up, so I decided to Scooby-Doo this bitch and find some clues, and find some clues I did. So the first major change that now makes pubs feel like you got dropped into ALGS scrims is, unlike before, pubs now uses the exact same matchmaking as ranked. Don't believe me? Ask Respawn.
Moving forward, all matchmaking will use the same skill rating technology.
So yeah, there's literally 0 difference between ranked and pubs other than the number at the top. Actually, that's not even true. Ranked is probably a little easier because the imaginary number the Apex gods use to put you in a game in ranked is similar to your actual skill because of MMR, and the imaginary number in pubs is just based on your overall account stats, allegedly. This plays into the new matchmaking exploit. They explained, rather than placing players into static buckets and creating a match as soon as that bucket reaches 60 players, it will predict the distribution of incoming players and dynamically chooses the optimal trade-off between skill differences and wait time. Bro, just talk like a normal person. So if that made as little sense to you as it did to me when I first read it, basically what they're saying is instead of making lobbies using one of 4 skill buckets and just throwing whoever in it if they think they fit in that skill range, now the game actually looks looks at everyone's individual skill more or less and tries to make a game based on that, while also trying to avoid Overwatch queue times. This sounds like a great competitive matchmaking system if you ask me, but in case you don't remember from like 1 minute ago, ranked and pubs use this system. So cool, right? The other excuse the devs use to gaslight you into thinking you're the problem is they actually just think you're shit. Yeah, they literally just think you suck and that's why you're mad. In the FAQ on the matchmaking update, someone asked, why are higher skilled players in my match? And their GIGA-CAP response was, you happen to be one of the lower skilled players in the match. Bro, what? I don't need you to tell me that. I'm just wondering why I'm in their game in the first place. And their answer to that was, similar to when you are on a loss streak and being placed into a less skillful match, your opponent might instead be in that situation. Which I thought was also kind of funny, because if my opponents are infinitely better than me, but I'm in the same lobby because they're on a loss streak, then why are they the champion? Some people speculate it's because if you're doing good or winning or just overall actually having fun,
We don't do that here.
they purposefully put you into Fade's lobby. This actually happened to me yesterday. But no, Respawn says, we don't purposefully put you in harder matches to slow you down if you're winning a lot, nor do we intentionally put you in easier matches because you're on a losing streak. We try to put you in matches where you'll have a fair chance of winning. Okay, reuse joke, but if the shoe fits...
That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
The thing that's really weird about this one is they literally said the exact opposite like 3 paragraphs later. Once again, talking about why the game puts you in harder or easier games, they said, the system is accounting for your recent changes in skill. This process tends to be slow, so you should only feel these changes from long streaks. So they do put you in easier games if you're losing. But what's still unaccounted for is your teammates in said easier games. Everyone's favorite part of the solo queue experience, the random teammates. I honestly can't remember a time where the game gave me teammates so terrible that I wondered how it was possible that this was even a real human with real thoughts that goes out into the world and interacts with society. I always finish my solo queue sessions feeling great because of how skilled and kind my teammates are. Yeah, 10,000 you said? Okay, sweet. Yeah, I put it in the video. Oh shit. In the famous words of Devskoi,
You are crazy for thinking you're always better than your teammates.
yeah, even in the new matchmaking system, the concept of competent teammates is still foreign to Respawn. At least they hit us with this banger to make us feel better. If you're at the top end of skill distribution, no matter what players you end up being matched with, your teammates will almost always be worse than you. Yeah, that makes sense, but there's only one issue. We aren't at the top end of skill distribution. I would assume only about 1% of you watching could be considered at the top end of skill in Apex, me included. So I'm sure the rest of us can relate when I say, if we're only supposed to get teammates worse than us, if we are actually the best player in the entire world, then why are my teammates always worse than me? Like, without fail. Okay, other than that one ranked game where I was Spider-Man and I got Jesus Christ himself on my team who got almost 20 kills in a Masters game on the last day of the season, but that doesn't count. I'm talking about the other 4,000 games I played before that. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad if the other teams were as good as my teammates, but with this new matchmaking, I have yet to get into a game of pubs where the champion doesn't have more kills on one character than I have on the entire game. But what if I told you there might be a way to fight back? If you weren't sure how even the most lobotomized brain-dead players all seem to have 20 kill and 4K badges, let me share some lore. In the old matchmaking system, you could just leave about 10 games and suddenly you are now bullying special ed kids. And obviously, this is bad, so Respawn actually changed it. It's still possible to sneak into the special ed classroom, but now it's just much harder. Respawn said you should only notice matchmaking putting you into easier games after long loss streaks. I think you know where I'm going with this. The secret change in matchmaking this season is now instead of leaving 10 games to get into bot lobbies, you've got to leave like 100. It seems like they scrapped the system that used your recent performance and it now uses your overall performance to find fair games, which is fine, but if you don't already have your 20 kill badge, it suddenly just became a lot harder. This is also pretty bad for content creators known for their skill like Fade, Asu, Timmy, and the GIGA-CAP bot spike, because the odds of you getting into a lobby where you can pop off like before are significantly lower. It also doesn't help that the only people still playing Apex are the ones who only play Apex or have spent too much money to quit. Honestly, the best way to go about getting a 4K or 20 kill badge now is to wait to play ranked until the last week or so of the season, where you should still be bronze or rookie, and just farm all the kids who are genuinely stuck in those ranks by absolutely destroying their game experience and further plunging Apex's player numbers. But at least you got a cool badge, right? There's one other way that you might be able to exploit the new matchmaking system to get into an actually fair lobby. The topic of engagement optimized matchmaking, or EOMM, in Apex has been pretty dodgy over its lifespan. If you aren't sure what that is, it's basically a matchmaking system coined by EA that only considers engagement when matching players over randomness or skill like most games do. The goal is to keep people playing or engaged for as long as possible by pretty much putting them into lobbies where they're usually the best player so they can fuck on everyone as opposed to getting fucked on every game. The issue with this is there's virtually zero competitive integrity and you will pretty much never improve. As soon as you start losing and the game thinks you might log off, they'll immediately put you into easier games to keep you playing. Respawn has gone on record to say Apex doesn't use this type of matchmaking, but considering EA is the one who created it, a lot of people were still sus. But I can confirm, despite what Respawn says, and after reading the matchmaking update, it's pretty obvious Respawn does use some sort of EOMM in Apex. Notice how they use the word directly. What I get from this, as well as my own experiences playing Apex, is that they don't use engagement matchmaking as a main course, but more of a seasoning, if you know what I mean. Despite trying to seem like they don't take player retention into account when matchmaking, 5 sentences later, they say,
Retention is one of the few reliable ways to assess how fun the game is.
Simply put, if people are quitting the game, it isn't fun. So another way you exploit the matchmaking in Apex is to just stop playing. If you get shit on a few times in a row, just Alt F4 and come back later, then you'll probably be in easier lobbies. Or don't. If the game sees you aren't having fun because the SBMM is tighter than my asshole this season, it'll try to put you in almost playable games to try and keep you playing. It's weird though, because Apex players act like they're being forced to play the game. Like, if you hate it so much, just stop playing, am I right? The people they complain so much, it's so freaking annoying. It's a video game, why do you care so much? These Apex players, they just don't shut up.
Hey, dude. Yeah, what's up? You know how we fucked up the matchmaking for no reason and just didn't say anything?
That sounds like something we do.
Yeah, well, I think they noticed. What do you mean they noticed? Oh yeah, I think they did.
Appreciate the homie Botspike for letting me use his cracked gameplay, and if you enjoyed this video, you should totally check out this other one because the algorithm loves that and it would make Daddy Devskoi very happy. Love you, bye.